Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing a little bit more Standard, and going back in with a revisited deck. So the last time we played this in Standard 2022, it was actually pretty good, and I think it fell off a little bit, and we haven't played it since. So I want to kind of see what it does. We've got a couple of new additions. We're playing Black-White Angels, if it wasn't immediately obvious. The new card that makes me want to come back to it is Liesa, Forgotten Archangel. I'm just going to call her Liesa. I'm sure it's probably not that. It's probably like Liesa. But Liesa sounds much better because I can make the room jokes as well. 5 mana 4/5 with flying and lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. So this is pretty much, you can stare at this card all you want, and the only thing that will come up is this card was printed to block Gold Span Dragon, and that's why we're running it in today's deck. I think that's pretty good use of this card. But it also shuts down like Blood on the Snow sweeps and things like that. If you're playing against like mono black control, the eye twitches get exiled instead, so they don't get that death trigger of like gaining treasures or going into the learn board. So that's pretty strong as well. And also it protects us from sweepers, because if we have our Righteous Valkyries out and our opponent wants to kill them, because Righteous Valkyrie is the best card in our deck, then it comes back to our hand and gets to be replayed for whatever amount of value that we find ourselves gaining from it. So yeah, that's the card we're going to be playing around with today. We've got another couple in here as well. The last time we didn't run Valkyrie Harbinger. This card's kind of cool. It just completely went off my radar though. It's a 6 mana 4/5 with flying and lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 or more life this turn, you create a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. So the fact that it is a 4-powered lifelinker that cares about gaining 4 life is good on its own. It does mean that it has to get into combat in order to get that angel though, but we can bypass that through other means, as we've mentioned. Righteous Valkyrie is the best card in our deck, and this one says whenever an angel or a cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So if we have a Valkyrie in play and we play a Harbinger, then we gain 5. We've already triggered its end step ability, so it's basically a 6 mana 4/5 flying lifelinker with another 4/4 token attached to it guaranteed that gains us another 4 life. So it seems pretty stupidly good, and I want to play around with it. The real draw for this deck really is kind of Rampage of the Valkyries. This is like the tribal payoff of sorts, second only to, I guess, the Righteous Valkyrie. It says, when it enters the battlefield, it's a 5 mana enchantment, create a 4/4 angel, so we're a little bit behind on value in terms of our efficiency there. However, the enchantment sticks around, of course, and says whenever an angel dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. So it makes our opponent's removal a little bit weak, because they're basically killing their own creatures in the process, makes blocking very awkward, and ultimately it's just very good. It's also an enchantment that sticks around, so certain decks don't really deal with enchantments too much, especially in the best of 1 queues. You see a lot of people kind of not running that kind of tech. We have no tech against it ourselves, for a good example. We've got things like Vanishing Verses, though, which allow us to hit mono-coloured permanents, so we can hit all of the best planeswalkers in the format, and a lot of early game creatures as well. I'm actually thinking that this should be the split here. Infernal Grasp destroys a creature and loses 2 life. It's kind of flexible. And Vanishing Verse, if we're up against multicolored permanents, can be very awkward, but I have noticed that a lot of the best decks right now play a lot of monocolored cards, so I think 4 verse 2 Grasp is actually where we want to be with that. And we got Soul Shatters here as well, to hit like Gold Span Dragons and things like that. Another bit of Planeswalker removal can hit multicolored Planeswalkers, I suppose, with it as well in certain scenarios. But yeah, I think the deck should really speak for itself. We've played it before, so I won't go into it too much more than that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Oh my, is that an untapped Snarl? Can we really afford to mulligan an untapped Snarl? I don't think we can. I think we gotta keep this. It's not like the greatest hand in the world, but it's got an untapped Snarl in it, and our opponent just played a Boots of Haste. So, that's a thing. Untapped Snarl, go. Your go, opponent, if you're not deadly afraid of my Snarl that came into play untapped. Opponent must be thinking, wow, that guy's so lucky. You wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong. Alright, so I have no real idea what they're playing other than maybe a Boros aggro list, perhaps. And in the case of a Boros aggro list, I think that we've got a reasonable shot of winning the game if we can, like, land a Righteous Valkyrie. Or even this Rampage of the Valkyries, honestly. Like, if we can stonewall our opponent with that, that's going to go a long way as well. Let's just play a Resplendent Marshal. I'm no longer on their Boros aggro idea because they've played 3 lands and done nothing. This is more like Tybalt's Trickery levels of slow play. Fateful Absence, alright. Draw a card. So we can just start pumping out Legion Angels into Rampage of the Valkyries, and then if they're any sort of creature deck there, they're basically dead. If it told a card... Alright, I think it's better to go with the Legion Angel, mostly because, 1, it's mana efficient, and 2, I want to kind of get more removal out of them if I can. So I certainly don't want to throw a Righteous Valkyrie into the mix there, if I don't have to. And we might be even able to set up a turn where we go Valkyrie, Legion's Angel. Yep, look at that. Removal for the Valkyrie. Play a thing that dies to Vanishing Verse, and I might have considered that as well. Second Rampage. Alright. So, make a 4/4. I'd say we're in a really nice position now. We could go Righteous Valkyrie, draw a card. One mana short of Valkyrie Starheim Unleashed, but we're going to draw first, and then we'll swing. We'll see what our opponent wants to do about this 4/4. Another Rampage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I really don't know what they're expecting to do here. I'm going to play the Valkyrie out, even though it's kind of susceptible to removal. If it doesn't die, though, I believe we can get up to 27 life. If we draw a land, we certainly can, because the Starheim will make me 3 Angels. Core Blade Master, so it's actually just a bad equipment deck. Okay. So, fully equips it up, still dies to my 4/4, which I will block with. Although I suppose if they had... Yep, now it doesn't. Okay. And they pass. Oh. That is exactly what I need. Alright. Game 5. And then I'm going to swing in like so, because I've gained 5 life, triggers the Harbinger, and it gains me enough life up to 29, and now this game is over. Should also note that if our opponent does decide to attack in like they are, I do have Rampage of the Valkyries that will make them sacrifice it. So they only get 1 strike in. Should say single strike on that card, am I right? Oh, where are you going? Oh, you're dead. That's right. Got him. Alright, that was, I was going to say that was a good showing for the deck, but our opponent's draws were honestly kind of really bad. What was their Fatale card? It was a Crush the Weak, 2 damage to each creature, and if it would die, it gets exiled instead. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, well, on to the next one. Alrighty, we are on the draw. And this thing, it seems pretty good. Yeah, we'll go with this. Double Valkyrie gives us something to play with. We've got removal if we need it. Double Valkyrie is going to be quite nice as well. We just need a third land. That's the only thing stopping this hand from being truly great. And it's going to be the mirror. That's annoying. But we will try to keep pace with our opponent. Let's go with the Youthful Valkyrie. As long as we can keep pumping out the same amount of angels as they can, then Youthful Valkyrie won't be too bad. They've got Skyclave Apparition. Sure. And another Youthful Valkyrie. Alright. Well, now we got our third land in play. They might regret using that Skyclave as early as they have. But they are on the play, so they do get just an inherent advantage of everything kills my things. So, take 2. So, like, now I'm in a position where I don't really want the Retribution's Chapter 2 to kill my Valkyrie. I can't play Righteous Valkyrie of my own, because then it just dies here. Can't Soul Shatter, because that Skyclave Apparition's in the way. So, I think it just has to be, annoyingly, a Vanishing Verse here. And I'm likely to not block the Youthful Valkyrie, but I could still block the Apparition, I suppose. Power less than this creature's power, so actually they can kill my Youthful Valkyrie all the same. For some reason I thought it was toughness, but that's fine. Yeah, as I said, we are kind of upsettingly on the back foot here, and I think that just means by mirror match standards, it's just who gets the better start wins the game, and there's no better start than being on the play. And also getting to dictate everything that lives and dies. Okay. Yeah, I think we're dead. Rip. Let's go to the next one. Alright, we go first. Gotta tap Snarl. And yeah, we're gonna keep this one. It's got a curve. Go Snarl into Hive, Valkyrie, then Righteous Valkyrie. Might just see a lot of our creatures die here. It's not mono black control, because they run Snow-Covered Swamps for blood on the snow. Do I feel comfortable throwing Righteous Valkyrie into play? We could have Infernal Grasps. That's really like the only hard removal for Righteous Valkyrie, I think, this early on. I could have also gone for the Youthful Valkyrie into Snarl, so that I could play a 4-drop, but I think I actually still want to just get the Righteous Valkyrie out, so that it can benefit from our later plays. I still have a gain 3 here. Skullport Merchant, okay. So, a slow and steady start for them. We've got an Infernal Grasp, so we can use that on a Gold Span Dragon or something like that if we need to. I probably wouldn't fire it off immediately anyway, so let's just go boop boop. Get aggressive. See where they want to go from there. I mean, short of Gold Span Dragon, which they have it, okay. I was going to say I should be able to get up to 27, because they would be unlikely to attack through my Valkyries. So they've got 2 mana here. If I block the gas, they've got 4 mana to play with. I don't think I want to kind of give them that. At least not on their turn. Got a land. So Is Infernal Grasp worth hitting the Goldspan Dragon? I don't care. I've realized that I shouldn't have to care about Goldspan Dragon. Because my creatures are already bigger than your creatures. So we'll swing for 4 here. Got 2 threats that kill Goldspan, one of them that survives it. Opponent's at 9. They do basically have a free draw by sacking the Shambling Gas, because they can make a treasure that way. Zorn, okay. So if they make a treasure, they make an additional treasure. It's Jund. I wonder if they have that, like, crackle with power. Grim Bounty. Okay, 4 mana remaining. And passes, alright. Destroy creature with power less than my creature's creature stuff. Alright, so we are going to... Let's see, we want to kill Zorn. We can do that in combat before blockers. That way they don't get 2 treasures for me targeting the Goldspan Dragon. Or I could just basically sweep their board. I could just go, this dies. By the way, this dies. And... you know what? While we're at it, this dies. Given the treasure now that it matters a lot less. Once the Skullport Merchant's out the way and there's no Zorn, then the treasures don't get as important. So here a land is really good for us. Got the Infernal Grass to just hit anything they play here. Old Gnawbone. Yeah, that's dead. What was that? 7 mana dies to a 2 mana spell? That should say all it needs to say, I think. About the power level of that particular card. It's mythic as well, isn't it? It is one of the sad, sad bulk mythics. Yep. It's a shame it's not good, but it ain't. So there's not much else to say about it. On to the next one. Alright, we go first. Got a slow but steady hand. Any land is good. Could also accept any removal or a Righteous Valkyrie, so we've got some good draws. I'm going to keep this one on the play as well. If it's the mirror, then double Valkyrie can be quite good. Cave into Stonebinder's Familiar. We did get our land. Whenever one of my cards... excuse me, I put into exile during your turn, put a counter on it. Only once each turn. So we're playing against mono white aggro, I think. And I don't believe that the Familiar is the best thing that we can hit. The follow-up probably is, though. No, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, do I want to? No, I don't think I want to kill it. Alright, let's get double white. Let's play the Righteous Valkyrie. Because our opponent's not attacking through this Valkyrie unless they've got Fateful Absence or Skyclave Apparition, yeah. And even if they did, it's 3 damage. No, actually it's not. That's a combo. How very interesting. Do I just play Valkyrie again so I can gain life? Yeah, I guess so. If I draw a land, I've got Marshal plus Infernal Grasp. Oh, that's just rude. That is so rude. Yeah, I mean, now we're at 2. And we drew a tap land as well, so we can't even play 3 drop into removal spell that would kill us, so... rip. There was a line where I could kill Apparition to get a 3/3 to block the Familiars. Maybe I should have taken that line. I was really just playing around them not having double Skyclave, though. Because I figured if I had a 2-4 in play, they just weren't going to attack at all, but... Yeah, additional Skyclave means this thing gets stupidly big. And, yeah. Is what it is. On to the next one, I suppose. Alrighty, we play first. We have an untapped Snarl, so RNGesus is on our side, because that never happens. And, yeah, got the best Angel in our deck. So we're going to keep this one. It's not exactly slow to establish to the board, but I'm still going to make it come into play tapped. I ain't showing them nothing. Alright, maybe mono black control. I highly doubt a Vanishing Verse is a good use of my time. Oh. Well then. It's blue-black zombies. With snow, so the Lord is a snow one. I can't remember his name, but... There is a zombie Lord. And he's blue and black, if I remember correctly, so Vanishing Verse isn't going to work there. I really don't want to play Valkyrie into very likely removal, but I think I would be doing my deck a disservice by playing nothing here. Thieves' Tools. Can't be blocked as long as its power is 3 or less. Sure. Okay. I think this is a spell. So we're just going to play Swamp and hit our opponent for 2 since we can't block. Pass the turn. Blue-black zombies. I was going to build this at one point. And then I saw a lot of people making content on it, and it seemed real bad. But you know what? If it beats me, chat, I will make zombies. But drawing that Rampage of the Valkyries, I'm afraid to say, almost guarantees that I will not be losing this day. Alright. Swing. So, a very difficult thing for them to deal with, unless they've got a learn board. There goes my Valkyrie, there goes your 2/2 zombie. Hit me for 1, I'll hit you for 4. That's quite kind of nice. Alright, so get him for 4, see if they've got any removal. Doesn't seem that they do. Then we play the Harbinger, which normally would have triggered off of our Valkyrie. It's just going to have to trigger next turn instead, though. And, yeah, that... Afraid to say, chat, that was an embarrassing showing for blue-black zombies. I don't know what they were doing. I truly do not. They played 2 zombies, and they have 2 in their mana base. But that was about it. Yeah. Blue-black really doesn't like to see enchantments. There's a couple of cards like the Annihilation 5-drop Lesson Learn card that can get rid of any permanent and redraw. That's about the only good answer you've got to something like Rampage of the Valkyries. This is basically just, if you're in a creature meta and you slam this with a reasonable life total, you win the game. It's usually how it goes anyway. On to the next one. Alrighty, we're in. We've got a 4-lander. It's a little slow, but I'm going to keep it. I know that at least one of these is a land, so let's play that out. I think I will assume that I'm going to draw a couple of lands at this point, though. There you go. Which means we are on track to get to Retribution and Valkyries on time, which is nice. Put us on Lotus Cobra. Removal for that would be nice. But it appears like I will not be getting any, so... Is what it is. Retribution's removal for it too late. Something to note. So, 4 mana, I can play like a Seeker's Chariot here, that would suck. Valaka Exploration. Haven't seen that card in a hot minute. Alright. Let's just go Retribution, swing for 2 then. And see what our opponent can do here. Ugh, another Lotus Cobra. And an Evolving Wilds. Balaged Recovery, okay. And a Druid class. There is no doubt in my mind that our opponent is certainly doing a thing. Roiling Regrowth, they get to keep doing their thing. Could also just level this up and play a land from hand. That gives them 3 mana to play with as well, so they could play land into Roiling Regrowth and keep going. Sure. And as you can see, like, the value Lotus Cobra has gained just from being alive right now. They get rid of their non-basic. To me, that says that they're running, what's his face? Red-green elemental dude. Yeah, like, my point is basically, Lotus Cobra sticks around 1 turn, the damage is done. It's one of those kind of cards. Long term, though, it's less of a problem. So what are they going to do here? They can play the Lotus Cobra or the Balaged Recovery. Balaged doesn't have really any good targets, though it could get an Evolving Wilds, which certainly has value, of course. And a Spirit of Aldergard. Alright. Grabs a Faceless Haven, and we take 4. Vanishing Verse is interesting. Not as interesting as Rampage of the Valkyries. This is 5 mana. So they can make a big dude. So if they made said big dude, they would lose it if I killed both the Lotus Cobras. I think that's probably a thing I should do. We get to swing with this one. I don't think I'm at risk of dying by doing this, so... Ancient Green Warden, okay, so that can get them Evolving Wilds. They get double triggers off of the ETBs on that. And they get to play another land. So they can do another Evolving Wilds. Again, I don't think I'm going to get 16'd here. If they swing in with a Spirit, they lose the Ancient Green Warden in the process. I have the Vanishing Verse to get it out of the way. It's pretty good sequence here. I'm not even gonna do the math on what they've got in their exile zone right now. I'm just gonna assume it's a lot and it needs to not happen again. So absolutely block here, because if I don't I will die. Plus that gets rid of the Green Warden. And then from 16 I take 8. My dudes gain double strike. I have Retribution here. It's not enough for lethal, but realistically, I don't think I need more than 1 creature with a Vanishing Verse backup, so we're going to swing with all anyway. And if they can gain 2 life here, which is easily doable. Yep, that land will help them. Oh no, sorry, they need to gain 3 life. So they need to do land into land, which, again, is doable, because they've got this Valakut's Exploration. Double Exploration. So if I were to hit the level 2 druid class. I think I put them out of range of ever gaining the life to live here. Instead of progressing a board to kill me, they now have to progress a board to not die. No double red for Shatterskull. They have to pay 3 on the druid class in order to play the Evolving Wilds. So now they're out of mana. They can crack the Evolving Wilds to go to 13, so they're not dead now. But if I was to draw a land, Amiria's Call would get me there. Or any angel, actually. Any angel or Amiria's Call. That was a sweet deck from our opponent. Sweet deck indeed. I like it. Sweet, on to the next one. Alrighty. One of our first mulligans, I think, of today. Which is a good sign, but that hand's terrible. Oh. It's going to be like this, is it? Our first mull, but it's a mull with a vengeance. We are going to put back the Amiria's Call and the Starheim Unleashed, I suppose, and then just go 2-drop, 3-drop. Hope for the best. Opponent name's green with Temple of the Dragon Queen. So I would guess this probably means it's the party deck. Prosperous Innkeeper. I also will fully admit I have no idea what I'm talking about. Because an Innkeeper is not a party. He hosts the party, but has nothing to do with it ultimately. This is a Simic deck then, I guess. That's just running Temple because reasons. I mean, reasons can be good reasons. Each of 2. So their big top end is like Coma, it's Cyclone Summoner, there's a red mana. I'm going to shut up now, I really don't know what I'm talking about. Going well so far. We're actually curving into all of our spells. They are a deck that would run something like Divide by 0 here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that occur right now. And if I wasn't surprised, then it would have been a good idea to attack first, so I could replay Righteous Valkyrie, because it's better than Resplendent Marshal. Yep, okay, that's a punt. Then this will get Environmental Sciences, I guess? Maybe even just Mascot Exhibition. Nope. Sciences first. So yeah, I do get to swing in for an extra point by taking this line, but I don't think it's... wow. Aggressive. Let's swing for 2. That's very aggressive. Why did they care about a 3-mana 3/3? It honestly is vanilla more than it's not. It usually just is a 3-mana 3/3, and the only reason you run it is because, well, there's a small amount of playable angels. And that is unfortunately on the bottom end of playable angels. So here, I kind of want to play Liesa. But I think Righteous Valkyrie, to benefit off the Liesa, is more enticing. Gain that 5 life, I think it might matter. Goldspan Dragon. So we are running Liesa mostly because Goldspan Dragon exists. Yeah, calm down. Calm down, just getting me the Goldspan. Down to 14. 2 mana remaining, so they can play their Environmental Sciences if they want. Or they're going to foretell. So that's probably... it's probably a Saw It coming. They won't be running Behold the Multiverse because they've got Memory Deluge. We already know they're running Saw It coming. So I think this will just be Liesa. Up to 19. Play a white sauce, swing. Get our opponent low enough on life where they might be more interested in holding back the gold span. Interesting. Well, I put it in the deck to block Goldspan, so if it's not going to block Goldspan here, I don't know when it's going to do it. Though obviously, there's a pretty good chance that what our opponent is doing is setting up a burn spell to kill Liesa, but I don't think we really care. Short of our opponent having another divide by 0, I think we could realistically present lethal on our opponent. It's not out of the question. Though I guess actually if they ever saw it coming, then I can't really add anything to the board. Alright, fair enough. There's no lethal on board here. Unless they drop their guard and it's not a good card. Soul Shatter. If they are in coma, that's a good one. I think I will just hold Soul Shatter up and we'll just swing for this amount because it still presents lethal next turn anyway, and it also allows me to replay Righteous Valkyrie if they have a divide by 0. Gonna go after the Youthful Valkyrie, I suppose that also makes sense. Mascot Exhibition. Replay Youthful Valkyrie. Exhibition dodges Soul Shatter because of the Innkeepers. So they're alive. There's an Alrund's Epiphany. How did I possibly forget about that wonderful, wonderful card? How could I forget? Gold Spam Dragon. Can even swing in. Yep. Land and we can X3 a Starheim, which is kind of nice. Just going to go for the Environmental Sciences. Thinning the deck, going to 16. We did get a land, so we get to X3 Starheim. Which is pretty dang strong. I gotta say. That's pretty good. I would say this is a force double block. Even if they manage to bounce the Righteous Valkyrie, I'm still blocking 4-4 on 4-4. I guess if they've got Cyclone Summoner, then that counters my Starheim here. But they don't. And I'm guessing they also probably missed a land drop then, because they're on 6 mana and the 2 cards we know are 7 drops. And I'm also assuming none of them are an Alrund's Epiphany, because if they were, I think I would probably run the Gold Span in just to Epiphany to redraw. That would get them the 7th mana to play it. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what these cards are, but I can tell you what they're not. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Well, I'll say that Liesa didn't show up too much, but she did block a Gold Span. That's why she was here. She did a reasonable job at doing it. She got Prismari commanded in the end, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And if you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Without further ado, let's end it off here. Take care and peace.